Welcome to another episode of my podcast. Today's episode features another amazing guest. I tell you, in case you haven't already noticed, I kick it with some pretty cool motherfuckers. Just so you know, like creatives, healers, truth seekers, truth tellers, teachers, artists, and then some. And when I say that I'm just getting started, I'm just getting started. So today's guest is pretty special, and I guarantee I've said that about everybody, but you guys know that each and every one of you is truly special, and I consider it a privilege to know you and to have you as part of my community and part of my tribe. Today's guest is actually someone that I met through a really good friend, and the way that we met was I was asked and invited to facilitate a couples yoga and meditation session for a friend and her partner, and I feel super excited because I actually got to facilitate one of the first yoga and meditation experiences for this person, and she was so receptive to it, so grateful, so loving. And then when the time came for me to transition out of my home into this nomadic stage that I'm in, she actually opened up their home for me to come and spend some time with them. And when I say they were the coolest hosts so far, I just felt taken care of, I felt comforted, I felt supported, and she is another person who just affirmed my goal and my intention for this podcast in the first place. So when I started thinking of people that I wanted to feature, she was definitely one of the first. She is an artist, a creator, a singer, a songwriter, a mother, a truth teller, a visionary, and I'm so excited to share just a little bit, just a slice, y'all, just a slice of what magic she has to offer. So today's conversation goes into a little bit of an artist story, a little bit of an artist journey, and she's going to share a little bit of what success means to her and how important it is to really stay true to yourself. So today's guest is Loren. I can't wait for you to hear what we have to say. So get comfortable, take a couple of long, deep, cleansing breaths, and get ready to listen to another conversation. Yeah, how are you this morning or after mid-morning?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. Went to Jamaica, man.
How was that?
The place is amazing, No, it was amazing. I came back and everybody's like, I'm sick and tired of your Jamaican accent. I'm going to need you to stop that, please. You're not Jamaican. I came back. I went to the grocery store, got food so I could make my own Jamaican food.
Oh, wow.
Tried to make my own jerk sauce. I'm just, Jamaica changed my life. It's really a beautiful place out there.
Was that your first time going?
Yes, it was. It was both me and Sashana's first time going.
Okay.
An amazing time.
That's so dope. What was your favorite part about Jamaica? Like, what did you enjoy the most?
I would have to say my favorite part was the people and how, they just interacted with, everyone from around the world. Peace, love, and everything was all about love and good time, good food, good music. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, with Jamaica, we went to Montego Bay.
Okay.
And, Jamaica is a very, 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 very small island. It's not big at all whatsoever. And it's also very close to Miami. Montego Bay is like away from everything. Montego Bay is like the place where tourists go. Like, we wanted to go into the city a little bit more, but there is like certain areas that, that are a little bit dangerous as far as like, you got people that are like, it's kind of like, it's no different from Compton, to be honest. Like, Compton grounds on, going to Inglewood, people have their territories. There's like this little city out there called Keisean. And, they're like all hardcore. They're like the Compton of Jamaica. We wanted to go into Kingston, but everybody was like, no, don't go to Kingston because you might not come back. I was like, okay.
Oh, okay.
I was like, all right, so that's out. But it's just like the people. So it's just like the people really take pride in their culture. And it's all about just like no stress, love. And Bob Marley is God out there. Like literally, like Bob Marley, like is their God. Like Jah, is, that's who they refer to as God, like Jehovah, Jah. But at the same time, like Bob Marley is their everything, everything.
Wow.
They called me Bob Marley's daughter out there because I took my guitar out there and I was jamming.
Oh, I love it. That is so dope. That is so dope.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. We're going to dive right in. So I'm going to give you a chance to introduce yourself, tell us your name, your sign, and share one of your passions and take up as much space as you want.
Okay, my name is Loren. I am a Leo to the fullest. I am the definition of, and my passion is music, and art in itself. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay. So when you say you're a Leo to the fullest, what does that mean?
I mean, to be honest, I'm just going off of what my girlfriend tells me.
Okay.
And she just told me this yesterday. She was just like, you are the definition of Leo. And I said, okay. She said, no, you don't understand. Like, you are the Leo of all Leos. I said, okay. No, you don't understand. I'm like, no, I don't. But, explain it to me. She was just like, no, you are a Leo. And coming to understand, she's talking about ego. Sensitivity, fire sign, cockiness, arrogant, but then, still have like the biggest heart in the world, such a big giver. That's what I mean by the Leo of all Leos. I'm just going off what my girlfriend told me.
Okay. I mean, from what I know of Leos, those seem to be relatively accurate, descriptions of like characteristics, especially like the heart. You think of like Leo is represented by the lion or the lioness, and you imagine, the king or the queen, of the jungle. So natural born leader, natural born, creator, and, someone who operates with the heart of a lion. So essentially like relentless when it comes to like goal setting or dream setting or manifesting or anything like that. So Leos do tend to kind of embody a certain type of power over themselves that naturally make others gravitate towards them. So yeah, I can agree with your girlfriend on that assessment. I can agree with her on that. And no, and not in a bad way. Like, you're actually the second Leo guest that I've had on the podcast. Cool. And so there's something, Leos say yes to being heard, which I think is great, and are all also very creative. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Your passion being music. Share with me and whoever listens to this, like, how do you best express your passion? Like, how does music show up in your life?
I think for me to express my passion is just through art in itself. Like, okay, I'll just give you an example, like what I'm doing right now. Like right now, I have completely disconnected myself. I don't want to like go into a whole different topic. I want to stay on track, but I have disconnected myself from, just kind of like channeled out, unplugged from the world, social media. I'm very active on social media. I'm very active on my Instagram. I'm very active on all that, but sometimes it can become a distraction. And, in this day and era, and I believe in like the times that we're living in, we take for granted our true artistry and what we're capable of creating and finding our best selves. And with that is the distraction of social media, phones, and all this crap that's out there. And for me, I noticed over like the past few years, I wasn't channeling into my artistry the way that I usually have and usually will do. So for my passion, it's everything. So what inspires my music is like, of course, traveling. And then you have like, I love to do like scrapbooks and all. I can't paint or draw for shit, but I will, put some good music on and vibe. And like right now I'm working on this whole new, scrapbook. It like has everything, and it has clippings, it has pictures, it has like quotes, it has poems. It's got like all my travel ticket stubs and, currency money from all over the world and types of things I'm putting it together. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm trying to channel into my artistry so that I can get inspired and get the juices flowing so I can write music. So with that, for me, I can't do music unless I channel into my artistry in different ways, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense, because I completely agree. I think that as creatives, and I consider myself to be a creative, my medium is obviously talking and speaking and teaching and writing. And I noticed that when it comes to my writing, whether it's poetry or short stories or even putting together a whole book, that in order for me to really channel, like you said, that artistry or that creativity, I have to unplug, because social media is it's a media. It's a platform for advertising and promotion is what it's meant for. And a lot of times, if we get too caught up in it and we're not using it just for the purpose of promotion and advertising, then it becomes a source of huge distraction. It becomes a source of diminishing creativity in a lot of ways, because I find myself sometimes when I get caught in a loop and I'm comparing myself to other people that are doing things that I want to be doing. And I read this quote, I actually am posting it, that basically said, how can you compare yourself to others when you are one of one? Mm-hmm. You're one of one. You know what I mean? There's only one of you. So getting a hold of yourself and saying, you know what, I need to unplug for a little while, because I'm finding myself putting a lot of energy and effort into just being a part of the quote unquote culture in a way that isn't really authentic to me right now. And not to say that I'll never dive back in, but I know when those moments come that I do have to kind of detach in order to really find myself again. So I think that's kind of dope that you know when to say when, you know what I mean? And that you know other ways to kind of inspire your music. So you mentioned the guitar. Would you say that's your favorite instrument to play?
Oh yeah, hands down. That's it. Self-taught, age of 9. I just saw it sitting in my stepmother's brother is an artist. He's actually pretty big time in indie rock. His name is John Darnielle. He plays with the Mountain Goats. And, he would leave his guitars in his room, different kind of broke down guitars and stuff that he didn't take with him on tour. And when I would go to my stepmother's mom's house, I would go in his room when he was away on tour, and I would play with his guitars. And I was about 9 years old when I fell in love with it. And I took it and I ran with it, and I've been doing it ever since.
That is pretty dope. So self-taught. I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's dope. I think it's because I feel like some people, you recognize an attraction or a calling to a certain thing, and without ever being formally taught how to do it, you just kind of flow with it and it just comes out of you. I've heard you play before. I've seen you play before. I've heard your music, which I think is phenomenal.
Thank you.
And that's, one of the reasons that I wanted to invite you to be a guest is because when people ask me, what is your podcast about and what is it for? And my answer is always my podcast is about me and my interactions with other people. And I think that I have a pretty amazing privilege to be a part of so many different circles of people that have so many creative energies within them. And I think with you, when I first heard your music and first saw you play, I was like, oh shit, okay, so this is her language. Music is like a language that you speak, and you do so beautifully and authentically. So I'm those of you who don't know, just get ready because she's about to blow your mind. But okay, so I have some questions for you. So when you think of yourself, in your best life, living your best life, doing exactly what it is that you want to do every single day, what does that look like?
Traveling with, my partner, music, working towards working for myself.
Okay.
And not the man. Me and my partner, we are definitely looking into starting our own online business and, trying to create this app. It's just, when you look at everything around you, I take advantage of like, technology. I have a love and hate relationship. Like, again, we spoke on, social media and all that stuff, but there's a lot of ups to it too. I think now we're living in a day and age to where we can kind of like, build our own type of little empires. And, being my partner, we've just really been channeling into the best versions of ourselves, like taking and seizing on every opportunity and every door that opens for us. And right now it's like, it definitely is traveling. Traveling is like knocking on our door, starting our own little couples blog page, because, we're goofy and people love to like watch us. I've been getting like when I'm on Instagram, I've been getting a lot of DMs on like, my story feed and stuff like that. And everyone's like, yo, you should start your own, blog on this, or you should start your own page on this. And people want to see it. And I'm just like, yo, that's dope. Like, why am I even working for this job anymore? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
That's what we've been pretty much focusing on.
That's pretty dope. I like that. I know, like, when I think of, the definition of success, I know that it looks different for everybody. And a lot of times people think success is always rooted in money, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or like financial status. And while, we know that, the world that we live in does require this currency to be able to create a certain type of lifestyle, I like the fact that success is not just centered around that for you.
Right.
It's exploring a lot of different things. And I think that when you're exploring your passions and you're pursuing your dreams, that the money, the success, that those elements always show up, so that job, that may not necessarily be serving you any way other than financially, can eventually be eliminated. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of like getting there. So, okay. How much time would you say that you spend on mastering your craft as far as music is concerned?
It's been very limited lately, but I've made a promise to myself when I came back from Jamaica that I am going to make time for it. And I realized that unplugging from certain aspects of life, you start to get more time back. So I kind of switched up some things, as far as lifestyle goes, and now I've like, just like I kind of tested it out like this past week, and I literally like came up with like 15 more hours of time in the week when I unplugged from social media, unplugged from all that crap, changed my lifestyle around, tuned into myself. So now I'm like at like a day I'll give myself, that saying, everybody's like, oh, if you give yourself 5 minutes a day, you're accomplishing to your goal.
Yes.
Well, whoever said that's an asshole, because
you're like, I'm going to need them to take that quote back and crumple it up.
Yeah, because that is so not true. That is so not true. That's like taking advantage of yourself. Like, you would never want to put in your mind like, oh, I got 5 minutes. If I did something now, like, go far out. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm giving myself like 3 hours out of the day. So, we get busy, we get tied up, me and my girl, we got 9-to-5 jobs and stuff. And, I've been up, round of applause to me. I've been up early in the morning going to the gym.
Hell yeah. Yes. High five on that shit.
I know you remember when I was saying I was going to go and I wasn't going.
I remember. And then I just saw like your stories. I was like, oh, she ain't playing. It's 5 o'clock in the morning every day.
Every day. Yeah. So I've been going. I've been up every morning. I've been going. So I get that knocked out, go to work. And then after that, it's like, I got time with my daughter when I have her. And it's like, it's like you have so much time once you clock out to really nail and accomplish your goals. So I'm like a few hours each day, and I'm just nailing it. Like whether that's writing, reading, working on my scrapbook, doing some poetry, going to an open mic joint, going down to the beach, playing, or, just a little bit of meditation too. Meditation is time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. No, thank you for sharing that, because the reason I asked that question is exactly what you said. Like a lot of times people think, oh, I'm just going to dedicate like 5 minutes before bed to focus on mastering my craft, or to pour into my dreams, or to, manifest my, my goals or whatever. And then they wonder like why it's not happening. And it's like, well, I mean, if you only give it 5 minutes, now granted, this is no shade. If 5 minutes is where you have to start, and you need to just commit to 5 minutes, and then maybe after that you can commit to 10 minutes and maybe gradually go up. But I think that depending on where you are and how clear you are on exactly what your purpose is while you're here in this body and what your passions are, then you do start to look at yourself and say, what am I doing with my day? You know, what am I doing with my time? And I tell people all the time, like, we all have the same 24. You know what I mean? We don't necessarily have the same number of years on our lives. You know, some live longer, some live shorter. But for the most part, we all have the same 24 hours each day. Sun comes up, sun goes down. What you do with that 24 is really what determines like the direction of your life. And I think a lot of times people say to themselves, oh, well, I have this 9-to-5 job and I have this and I have that. And it's like, if you have any time to spend, like you said, on social media, just scrolling, if you have any time to spend just, you know, watching TV, if you have any time to spend just doing something that's not really feeding your purpose and like propelling you forward, then you have time. You just have to decide how you're gonna, you know, invest it. And I think a lot of times we do look up and say, damn, I'm wasting, you know, this many hours. You said 15 hours you know, in a week. And that's probably on the low end. There's probably folks who spend way more than that because you get caught in the scrolling trap and you're like, oh shit, I'm still on social media. It's been 3 hours. What am I doing with my life? So,
or you like in the bathroom, like, you know, taking a number 2 for like, it's like, come on now. Like I was reading that can actually give you cancer. No, for real. Like I was reading, it can give you tailbone cancer, and tailbone cancer is something new that they're finding that a lot of like people in America are going to have tailbone cancer because we sit on the toilet too long. And when we're taking a number 2, because we're on our phones, we're technically only supposed to be in there no more than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Do what you got to do and wrap it up and get out. Yeah.
That's what our bodies were designed to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a trip. Oh, damn. I mean, well, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation about all the things all the ailments that we're causing ourselves based on our lifestyle choices. Hell yeah. That doesn't shock me at all. Next topic, right? Next time. But, so I have another question for you. What are you, as an artist, what are you willing to, and you kind of already touched on this, but what are you willing to give up or sacrifice in order to have what you really want?
I would say, to be honest, I would say certain type of, friends and just people in general that are in my bubble at this time. I'm learning friends are great and friends are all good, but I'm learning in life that we are actually only meant to have very limited friends for a reason, because not everyone will synchronize with you and move at the same pace that you move. Neither will you move at theirs. And you kind of hit a brick wall in life sometimes where it's like, I'm noticing like, I'm trying to get to this next level in my life. So, there's already been certain people I've had to cut out, and I love them dearly, but it has become toxic for me to continue any type of, friendship with them. Seeing as, stuff that they may be talking about or stuff that they bring in my home or certain things that it's not good energy. And, my door's always open once they're on that, they're on, or at least, nothing negative. But in the meantime, that's something that I'm starting to sacrifice, and that I'm more than willing to sacrifice if need be, so that I can continue to prosper forward with my artistry and just in life general. I'm noticing too, like, with success comes haters. A lot of people smile in your face, but then, they're talking behind your backs. And, a lot of people don't keep it 100. And I'm all about keeping it 100. Like, please keep it 100 with me. So it's like, right now, that's one of my biggest sacrifices that I have made, which is like cutting out people. And I will continue to cut out more if I need to. And I know it sounds blunt and kind of like jacked up, you know what I mean? But I was just having a discussion with my partner about this yesterday, and we were talking about it. And I was like, look, Oprah had said something, and I can't really quote what she said word for word, but to sum it up, she was saying for her to get to where she needed to get to in life, she had to cut those people out, because we are in control of the energy that people bring into our lives. And that energy can make or break you. So, she was kind of saying something to that nature, and it really resonated with me. And I'm like, wow, that's what I need to do. Because have you ever just had like those friends that like, their name pops up on your phone and you don't want to answer it because what they're going to be talking about, and you just don't want to hear it.
Yes. And then you start to feel some type of way. Yeah. Like, I know I have that experience where, like my armpits start sweating and I'm feeling all tight and I'm like, oh, damn, I don't want to take this call. I don't want to respond to that text.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
And it's like, we shouldn't have to be in that position. Like if someone is your friend and they're putting you in that position to where when they call you, like, see, if someone calls me, you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I need to answer my phone. You know what I mean? If I'm not busy, I want to answer my phone. I want to know how you're doing. I want to know how everything is going. But if I am purposely dodging you, or God forbid, I'm coming up with this lie, oh, I can't right now because I don't know, my rabbit fell off the balcony. I don't know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like you think about those small things. It's like you can't continue to put yourself in that position to make up stories, the reason why you can't hang out with them or can't talk. It's like, that's life letting you know, like, you kind of got to just dismiss them, be straightforward and honest with them, and just say, hey, you know what? I'm a different time in my life right now. And you just got to go. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I totally
agree. Those are my sacrifices right now, girlfriend.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, because I think that probably resonates with a lot of people. And, I too don't know the exact quote from Oprah, but it's probably coming from the same conversation that you heard, which I know she said something like, when you're living your life authentically, you're going to disappoint some people along the way. Like, some people are going to get disappointed. Some people are going to get dismissed. And sometimes it doesn't even require like a formal, I'm not going to fuck with you anymore. It's more so like you just find that you're no longer in the same spaces. You're not in the same circles because you have chosen to take a different path. And everybody doesn't get to come. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, on this journey to success and what success looks like for me, everybody doesn't get to come. Everybody does not get a seat at the table. And that is no shade to whatever they're doing in their lives and whatever individual journeys that they're on. But I cannot pause or delay my progress in order to keep up with you. That's what I'm not going to do.
Right.
And I think that it happens that way. And it's part of life. You know what I mean? It's part of growing. Like, I think when we grow, mature, evolve, whatever you want to call it, transform, that there's a part of it that we do by ourselves, that we have to do alone. And there's a part of it where we get to bring a certain tribe. Mm-hmm. And that tribe just naturally shows up and it just naturally comes together. You don't have to go out and find them. You don't have to fight to keep them. You don't have to beg for them to stay. It's just like, they're just there. They show up when you need them. They're there. And anyone else who isn't, it's not meant for them. And you're right. Like, I have, like, each morning I have, do different stuff. And I wake up in the morning, wake up and I meditate. And then I started waking up and putting together this little like playlist that I can listen to while I'm getting ready. And I used to only use like a lot of like meditative type music, which was cool. But recently I needed to ignite some fire in my life to kind of use it as some alchemy so I can make some shit happen a little bit faster. So I've been listening to a lot of like hip hop or whatever in the morning, and that Everybody Mad OT Genesis song is on my playlist, and I listen to it every day. And even though it's simple, you know what I mean, the lyrics, but I'm like, it's true. A lot of people are like, wait, so how are you doing everything that you're doing and I'm not doing it? And it's like, don't worry about it.
Right.
I'm doing what I'm doing. Right. And don't be mad, or be mad, but go sit over there and be mad. Because I have other things to do. But yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Okay, so my last question for you before we wrap this up, because I know we all have things to do, is if you were to give advice to your 20-year-old self, what would you tell them?
Oh, wow. Damn. That's an interesting question. Dang, 20-year-old self, huh? Mm-hmm. That song by Indy Irie, Get It Together. Yes. Yeah. Advice for my 20-year-old self. Get it together. Life is here. Life is now. These moments are for you. We all have a purpose, and just, you gotta go get it, man. You gotta go get it. Yeah, man. Life is just so short. It's like, that's the advice I give my 20-year-old self. It's just like, stop with the procrastination, go get it, stay truthful and honest to yourself. Yeah, this is just such an interesting question, because when I think about myself at 20 years old, man, yeah, I was actually locked up when I was 20 years old. Yeah, I had gotten into some stuff and I had to go to jail. So, Commissary was delicious, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I remember you telling me about the spread.
Oh yeah, I made some yesterday.
Yep.
Shoshana ran out. Shoshana ran out the house
man.
once I popped the oysters. She was like, "I'm out." She left. She went to go hang out with some friends. Yeah, she does not like when I cook spread, but 20 years old. I was locked up, and then when I got out, I had to change my frame of mind, and I just had to really get it together. And that's still the advice that I would tell myself today.
Yeah, I like that. No, that's real, because I think that when we look back at ourselves, when we were 20 years old, fresh out of teens, so to speak, and we look back then, I think that the one thing that I think probably resonates with most people who look back at age 20 is to remind yourself that life is short, that time moves very quickly, and not to waste any of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not to delay it, or, like you said, procrastinate those dreams or those actions, and to just go for it. Because the reality is, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is our real life. This is our real life. And whether, past lives or new lives or whatever come after this one, we only get one go round in this particular body.
Right.
So it's like to remind ourselves, even at present age, to remind ourselves that all we have is right now. All we have is this moment, and to be as truthful and authentic and gentle and real with yourself as possible, and you're going to be fine. So,
amen.
Yeah. Amen. Well, thank you, Loren. I appreciate you so much. Oh my God.
No, I appreciate you, and keep it up. You know what I mean? I always told you had a podcast voice for sure.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. I appreciate it. And I'm finding it, slowly but surely. And I'm just super grateful for, people like yourself who are just saying yes without me giving you a whole lot of prep. Just say, download the app. I'm gonna call you. We're gonna talk.
Yeah. Definitely.
It just flows. So I would love to have you back on again, because I know you have a divine mind. And I know there's like a lot of different things that we could talk about again in the future. So if you are willing, I would
definitely
love
hit me up, girl. I have a circus mind. There's plenty of information in here for everyone.
Great. All right. Well, I know you are taking a social media sabbatical right now, but if people wanted to connect with you or find you or find out ways to be able to connect with your music, how will they find you?
Oh yeah, just tell them to go to my Instagram. It's strings by low, STRINGS by low. And I'm, it's just for a few weeks, and then I'll go on, but I'm just gonna have some boundaries set, Yeah.
Okay. I love that. Yeah, we might have to come back and talk about social media boundaries.
I think it's important. I think that's a really good topic to get on next.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, peace. I love you so much.
All right,
thank
you. Love you too, girl.
Okay.
Stay up.
Okay.
Bye.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Take me baby. Wow, take you to this island, shower you with my love, you, me. Let's go to Jamaica, get away from me, baby. Wow, take you to this island, shower you with my love. Got some days and I'm ready for vacation. Sunsets right on the edge of the horizon. Rastafari jamming on his own island. We can have a good time, baby, yo, let's fly to a place where the weather's so cool. Dip our toes in the sun, lay back, feeling smooth. I know when you know that this is the place. 2 tickets, backpack, baby, no time to waste. You, me, let's go to Jamaica, get away from me, baby. Wow, take you to this island, shower you with my love, you, me, say you and me, said you and me, you and me, oh, like, oh, here we go, baby, yeah, we can go, oh, here we go, baby, yeah, we can go, oh, we can go, baby, yeah, we can go, oh, we can go, baby, yeah, we can go, oh, ooh, la, la, la.
Wow. I just want to say thank you so much, Loren, for saying yes to my request, even though I didn't really tell you anything about what we were going to talk about. Thank you so much for your honesty, for your transparency, for your authenticity, for your humor and your passion. It really means a lot to me when an artist can share anything about their process of creativity and how they do what they do. So before I close out this podcast, I am going to share just a little bit, y'all, just a little bit of Loren doing what she does. So take a listen, enjoy, check her out. Again, you can find her at Strings by Lo on Instagram. She is on a social media sabbatical right now, which I recommend for everybody if you haven't done one recently. But she is available that way. She has music that is being prepared right now, so just keep yourself open and receptive. When it comes, I will be sure to link you up with her. Again, thank you so much, Lo, for saying yes. Thank you so much for being exactly who you are and showing up in this world as the amazing, powerful, energetic human that you are. I love you so much, and I'm so glad to have shared this time with you.
Some people say the world is coming to an end. The closer that it gets, the more evil I get. Ooh, I'm taking the L, I'm taking the fall, I'm taking the blame, I'm taking them all. I get it right back, I get it right back. I'm coming back up, not giving a fuck, not open to hate, not open to love, not open to trust, not open at all. I'm finding the gold, I watch it unfold. When niggas come up, the money get cold. They're telling me this, telling me that. Is it a statement or is it a fact? Are we your people or are we your purpose? Are we your stories or are we your puppets? I can't see the surface, I can't feel the air, I can't feel your feelings, I hurt you right there, yeah. How's it feel now? How's it feel now? When it happens to you, when it happens, when it happens, when it happens. How's it feel now? How's it feel now? When it happens to you, when it happens, when it happens, when it happens. They're taking my pain, they're taking my heart, they're taking my money, they're taking my art, they're taking the good, they're taking the bad, they're taking the shoulda, they're taking the head, they're robbing the poor, robbing the rich, stealing your babies and stealing your. They wanna know why, they wanna know how, they wanna know when. We telling them now, we telling them this. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and you, and you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you all. Some people say.
You have your choice of podcasts that you can listen to, tune into, subscribe to, and share. And I want to take a moment to just express my sincere gratitude for you choosing this one. In this moment right here and now, I see the light, I see the love, I see the wisdom, I see the beauty, the prosperity, and the abundant joy shining within you. And I bow humbly before your divinity. Namaste. Peace, y'all.